Hi everyone, it's Sonia here. The 6th of January, the day Congress is supposed to certify the results of the election. Protesters stormed the Capitol buildings and actually got inside. I've been listening to the updates and it's really making me wonder, what is going on? How in the world did they get in there so easily? And also, who is this guy? So I just want to let you know about some of the things that I've heard. Oh, please, before I start, I want to let you know I do have a Patreon, so if you like what I do here, but you don't get notified, for example, on YouTube, if you donate to me on Patreon, $1, for example, you will get notified by me personally every time I upload and every time I do a live chat, plus you get extra info. So if you're able to, thank you for your support on Patreon. And also, I still have available the purifier pouches and also the water purification tabs, which are sold out from the prepper stores. And this removes odors by eliminating viruses, bacteria, fungus, and mold. And there'll be lots more information on this in the link. So if you're interested, check out the link. And it's 15% off and no shipping and handling for a 3-pack of pouches, even if you live in Canada. So, okay, today, you guys, I was driving up to my mother's place, listening to the radio, catching the updates, and a few things like really caught my attention. That made me wonder, something is very strange here again. So from what I've been hearing, all these Trump supporters stormed the Capitol buildings. That right there is very weird because everybody knows that these are the most secure buildings in the United States. And even on the radio, they were saying, well, we thought that they were the most secure buildings. There's a huge police force there. Every single entrance is, secured, and there should be no way that such a thing could happen. But apparently they're not as secure as we thought. But I had also heard there weren't actually that many police, not what you would expect. Now remember, I've heard a lot of things, so have you. The story will develop as it continues and more facts will come out. But what I heard today, a person who was there said there were only about 12 cops. I mean, that's hard to understand, hard to believe. But they said there were only 12 and they were around one area and then they moved around to another area. Now, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I find that really weird. Why would there be so few? Now, obviously there weren't enough because all these people were able to get in. And again, that makes absolutely no sense because even aside from the police presence, like the whole building is so fortified, how is it even possible? They breached the entrances. The people said, oh, well, they broke the windows. We never knew this could happen. I kind of find that really hard to believe. You didn't think people could come in through the window? Really? Isn't that something people do all the time when they break into places? But I guess not the Capitol buildings. So yeah, they broke the window and then they just overwhelmed the police. But how were they even able to get that close? I mean, we've seen really large crowds being blocked off by police before they get near wherever it is that they're trying to go. And they're like, oh, we didn't see this coming. Really? Because I did. And a lot of people, because so many people were saying that they were heading over there to show support and to protest because they believe that the election was stolen. I mean, I was seeing on the internet people going by busloads to the Capitol. I find it hard to believe that, oh, we didn't see this coming. We had no idea so many people would show up for this. Really? Isn't that your job to, assess the situation and anticipate things and be prepared? But hey, it just kind of slipped by them. So they weren't prepared. They didn't have reinforcements. Anyway, I find that all very hard to understand. So then, Peter Welch, a Democratic representative from Vermont, was in there when this happened, and he said that the protesters busted down the door. They got into all parts of the building, Nancy Pelosi's office, the Senate floor, the Congress, everything, the House chamber, I mean, they just busted right in. Somehow. And with guns, too. Somehow, they just stormed the building. And the security staff, at some point, made an announcement. This is not a drill, and you need to go down to the bomb shelter. And they said something about gas masks. You need to put gas masks on. So they ushered everyone out and got them into a secure area. And from there, Peter Welch was giving updates on the radio about what was going on. My mind is just completely blown. I want to give you a heads up about something. This guy that you've seen in the footage, who is dressed like a kind of Viking with very distinctive tattoos, well, there's some rumors floating around about this guy that he's actually, you know, like a member of some other group, and that he's an actor and that he's a plant and this kind of thing. You know, there have been these posts showing that he was at a BLM rally in June. So what's he doing storming the Capitol? The footage of him at the BLM rally is available online, though. And you can see that what he was doing there was actually trolling, more or less, trolling the BLM rally. He had a sign that said, "Q sent me," and he was shouting, "Research Q."
Research Q!
This man has now been identified. His name is Jake Angeli, and he's 32. And apparently he's a very prominent member of the QAnon community. And it has been discovered that he had a profile on Backstage.com, a job hunting site for those in the entertainment industry, where it said that he claims he is skilled in singing, screenwriting, public speaking, and accents, among other attributes. Well, everyone and their dog wants to be some kind of celebrity, so it wouldn't surprise me that he, like many other people, would have tried to get some kind of career going in the entertainment industry. That doesn't prove that he was hired as an actor to be at the BLM rally or at the Capitol. So these theories go around all the time. Personally, I would recommend that you don't take the bait. And imagine the irony of this practically professional conspiracy theorist participating in storming the Capitol, which he probably sees as the pinnacle of his career as the QAnon shaman, and then ending up on the receiving end of a conspiracy theory. That's how the internet works. I mean, really, you know. This situation resulted in a tragedy when a young woman was shot going through the window part of a door inside the building. She was later identified as 32-year-old Ashley Babbitt, an Air Force veteran from California. There she was on a bus, excited to go to this, and then this is how it turned out, and she lost her life. There's a couple narratives going on. One was that this is all Trump's fault because he's the one who's contesting the election. But you and I know that obviously Trump is not the only one who's been complaining about the results of the election. You know, and he had gone through all these channels in the courts. Apparently, he figured he hadn't exhausted his resources because he still didn't want to leave. Yeah, they were like, oh, it's Trump was, you know, inciting all these people to do this. He's the one who made these people come here. I think there are a lot of people that had these beliefs about the election. They, you know, it wasn't Trump who was taking pictures of voting machines and taking pictures of voting stations and posting them online. I mean, there were countless numbers of people all over Twitter and all over the internet posting stuff that they considered was suspicious. The map itself, as the results were coming in, and then the results suddenly jumping so much in the swing states overnight, everybody saw that, and lots of people commented on what they thought that meant. It wasn't only Trump. I mean, even if Trump actually had said, look, people, I know it sucks, but this is legit, and these were just the mail-in votes, so just take it easy. I'm on my way out, and hey, it's democracy. I think that if Trump had said that, people would have still said this was a fraud. It's weird, because like on the one hand, like that kind of stuff, it's like you can't even talk about it. Like even me just talking about what happened today, I'm like, oh, I gotta watch myself that I don't, like that they don't take it the wrong way. And on the other hand, it was like the alternative media was just like fired up with so much stuff about this. I was going and checking certain sites and I was looking for information on other stuff, and it was like that's all that was up there was just more and more stuff about this. And just saying how it was fraud and all that. So look, it's not just Trump who did that. It's not. This was a whole thing that was going on. But now it's all Trump's fault. So they took down his tweets, and they also locked his account for now. Last time I checked, it was 12 hours. But interestingly, they even removed the tweets where he was saying things like, "I'm asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful, no violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you. And also, please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful." But it would be weird, don't you think, that they would remove tweets where he's asking people to be peaceful and be supportive of the police? Anyhow, officially, everything that happened is all his fault. Well, that's the narrative. But I'm pretty sure that down the road, they're going to also blame the alternative media and the social media. Because Trump, you know, without all these other people agreeing with him, you know, it wouldn't have gotten this big. So what I foresee now that, oh my God, look what they did. And the words that were being used to describe the people that were coming in there today, one of the words started with the letter T. I think you know what that word would be. They're like, yeah, they're, you know, really scaring people. But they used another word that starts with a T. And look, they have guns, and this is all because of Trump. And like I said, down the road, it's going to be because of Trump and Twitter and all this other media. They need to get their thing under control there, or they're going to be accused of contributing to this. That's what I would think. That was pretty much the narrative. And yes, they were using the T word, and they were saying, well, the significance of this is that depending on what it is considered, that will affect how it's dealt with. Like if it's considered a protest, that's one thing. If it's considered the T word, then there's a whole other set of laws that apply to the people who are involved. And it's weird too, because they referenced, you know, the big event that happened during the era of Bush Jr. And they were saying after that, we had all this extra security, and then, oh my gosh, look what happened. So, you know, we need more. How could this happen? And it looked like it was just, you know, it's going to level up. All those things are going to level up. And I think that this is like very significant, that there's some kind of turning point happening here in America, and that this event will be used to you know, tip you more into that turning point. And I find it's really unfortunate what happened today. I never would have thought that would have solved the problem. I know some of you might disagree and say like this would have been the right thing to do. I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like people were hurted there, and then it was like a lose-lose situation. Like whatever you did, you'd end up being herded into, well, the Great Reset. And I think even Trump underestimated the reach of that reset and how skilled the people are who are bringing it in, so that whatever event happens, it can be used one way or the other. You know, if people hadn't shown up, they'd be like, well, hey, look, now you have Biden and the Great Reset. And if people did show up, that can just be used to sort of further their goals even more. Because they'll say, oh, well, look what people are doing. You know what, you need more security, more restrictions online, on social media. And these kind of acts have to be taken seriously. And who can disagree, right? Because look, they stormed the Capitol buildings. But again, I'm wondering, like, how is that even possible? Where is their responsibility? Why didn't they make sure those buildings were secure today? That's what I'm wondering. Because now they're going to just blame the people, blame Trump, blame the media, blame whoever, the Proud Boys or whatever. But where's their responsibility to make sure that they could anticipate this and properly prepare for it so it would never get to this point? That's my question. I hope it's okay for me to ask this question. What a crazy day, and like what a really rough time for America. And I'm always just kind of hoping that things will sort of settle down and that you'll have things kind of go back to some kind of normal. But I have this awful feeling, like this sinking feeling, that things are never going to be normal. And we're heading into something that we don't want to be in. So anyhow, I just want to let you know, this is what I caught from what happened today, from what I heard. I find it very strange. I have a bad feeling. about where this is going. And I've been around a long time and I've seen things happen, and I have a very bad feeling about this. And we're going to have to wait and see how things turn out for America. But man, I really hope things get better. You know, this is awful. Up here in Canada too, but I feel like you guys are having it even worse in the States. Oh, we're having curfews now. Like, we're under full lockdown with curfews. They're going to stop your car and check, you know, if you go out after 8 or 9. But in America, it's like, it's been really rough, as you know. Anyhow, I just wanted to give you a little update. Again, thank you for supporting my channel on Patreon, so you get all the notifications, and we can interact there as well, and you get extra info. Yes, don't forget to check out the link. If I tell you about a product here, it's because I really believe in it. So check out the link, check out the info, see if it's something you're interested in. And thanks for joining me in the chat if I did one. And yeah, it's always nice to see you guys. God bless. Thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.